One of the most revered Buddhist monks of our time once shared a profound teaching: when you eat, you should eat. On the surface, this may sound deceptively simple, but when you pause and truly reflect on these words, you realize that there is deep wisdom embedded in this statement. In our modern world, eating has become a rushed, often thoughtless activity. How many of us eat while watching television, working, or scrolling through social media? It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, and we often neglect the simple, sacred act of nourishing our bodies. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the cornerstone of enlightenment, and this practice is not limited to meditation or prayer. It extends to every part of our daily lives, including how we eat. Eating is not merely a function to satisfy hunger. In Buddhist teachings, food is seen as a gift that nourishes not only the body but also the soul. It's an opportunity to connect with the present moment, to appreciate the interconnectedness of all things, and to cultivate gratitude for the abundance we have. When we eat with mindfulness, we transform a mundane task into a profound practice that aligns with the core principles of Buddhism. Mindful eating encourages us to slow down and fully engage in the experience of eating. It invites us to become fully aware of the textures, tastes, and aromas of the food we consume. The first step in mindful eating is to notice the food in front of us. Instead of rushing to take that first bite, we should pause and acknowledge the food. Acknowledge that it is the product of the earth, the sun, and the labor of many hands. This awareness creates a sense of reverence for the food we are about to consume. As you take a bite, focus your attention entirely on the sensation. Feel the texture of the food as it enters your mouth: the crispness of an apple, the creaminess of a bowl of soup, the warmth of freshly baked bread. Notice the complex flavors unfolding as you chew, savoring each moment. Pay attention to the rhythm of your chewing, the way your jaw moves, and the flow of your breath. Allow yourself to be present in this moment, appreciating the nourishment that each bite provides. Mindful eating is not just about the food itself but also about being present with our bodies. When we eat mindfully, we become more attuned to our body's signals of hunger and fullness. We can better distinguish between emotional hunger and physical hunger, which allows us to make healthier choices and develop a deeper connection to our own well-being. In Buddhism, the body is seen as a temple, and taking care of it through mindful eating is an act of respect for the life that we have been given. But mindfulness doesn't end with the food. It extends to the environment in which we eat and our relationship with those around us. In many Buddhist traditions, meals are shared in silence, allowing the participants to focus on the present moment and the act of eating itself. Sharing a meal with others can deepen our connection with them and foster a sense of community and compassion. In addition, mindful eating aligns with the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. Often, we eat not just to nourish ourselves but because of cravings or habits. We may overeat, consume food out of boredom, or eat foods that harm our bodies. Mindful eating teaches us to be aware of our desires and to break free from the cycle of attachment to food. It reminds us that food is a source of sustenance, not a source of indulgence or distraction. When we practice mindful eating, we begin to see food in a new light. It becomes a moment of spiritual practice, a chance to cultivate presence, gratitude, and awareness in our daily lives. Each meal is an opportunity to embrace the teachings of Buddhism, to be aware of the impermanence of each moment, to appreciate the interconnectedness of all beings, and to nourish not only our bodies but our hearts and minds. Imagine that every time you sit down to eat, you are not just satisfying your hunger but engaging in a spiritual practice. Your meal becomes a moment of connection to yourself, to the food, and to the world around you. This practice allows us to find peace in the ordinary, to transform a simple act of eating into a path of mindfulness that leads to a deeper sense of well-being and spiritual growth. Through mindful eating, we can also extend the principles of Buddhism to other aspects of our lives. The practice of mindfulness in eating teaches us patience, presence, and compassion, qualities that can enrich all of our relationships and interactions. As we learn to be present in the act of eating, we also learn to be present in the rest of our lives, cultivating a deeper sense of awareness and appreciation for each moment. In Buddhism, food is not just about sustenance, it is a way to nourish our bodies, minds, and spirits. By practicing mindful eating, we can turn a daily necessity into a spiritual practice that deepens our understanding of ourselves and the world. It is a simple yet powerful reminder that in every moment, we have the opportunity to be fully present, to embrace life as it is, and to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the blessings we have received. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not just a concept, but a way of life, an essential practice that touches every aspect of our being. Whether it's in meditation, in daily activities, or in the way we eat, mindfulness allows us to stay connected to the present moment, cultivating awareness, and deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. But here's where it gets fascinating. Modern science is now discovering what Buddhist monks have known for centuries, that mindful eating is not only spiritually enriching but also incredibly beneficial for our health. For centuries, monks in Buddhist traditions have practiced mindful eating as a way to connect with the present moment, honor the food as a gift, and cultivate gratitude. In these traditions, eating is not seen merely as a mechanical process to satisfy hunger but as a sacred act that nourishes the body and spirit alike. Eating slowly, savoring each bite, and being fully present during the meal are all integral parts of this practice, allowing practitioners to deepen their connection to themselves, the food, and the world. But now, in the light of modern research, we see that there are far-reaching health benefits to the practice of mindful eating, particularly when it comes to digestion, stress management, and even weight management. This is where the Buddhist practice of mindful eating and the findings of modern science beautifully converge. One of the key benefits of mindful eating is its positive impact on digestion. When we eat mindfully, we give our bodies the time and space to properly process the food. Eating slowly, chewing thoroughly, and paying attention to the sensory experience of eating allows the digestive system to work more effectively. This simple yet powerful act of slowing down enables the stomach to send signals to the brain, signaling when we are full, thus preventing overeating. When we eat in a rushed or distracted manner, however, these signals can be missed, leading to overeating and discomfort. Mindful eating also plays a vital role in reducing stress, which is one of the leading contributors to digestive issues. In Buddhist teachings, we are reminded to approach all things with a sense of calm and presence. This extends to eating. When we eat in a hurried or anxious state, our bodies enter into a fight or flight response, triggering the release of stress hormones like cortisol. This stress response diverts energy away from digestion, making it less efficient and leading to discomfort, bloating, and indigestion. In contrast, when we approach our meals with mindfulness, we cultivate a sense of calm and relaxation. By breathing deeply and focusing on the present moment, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, which promotes better digestion and nutrient absorption. The reduction of stress through mindful eating also has broader health implications. Elevated stress levels are linked to a host of health issues, including high blood pressure, sleep disturbances, and weakened immune function. By practicing mindfulness while eating, we can lower our overall stress levels, contributing to better physical and mental health. The slow, deliberate process of mindful eating naturally reduces the production of cortisol, the body's stress hormone, helping us to feel more grounded and at peace. This sense of tranquility has a ripple effect, benefiting not only our digestion but our emotional well-being as well. In terms of weight management, mindful eating offers a natural and sustainable approach. One of the main challenges in our modern society is the tendency to eat mindlessly, whether due to stress, distractions, or habits. We often eat out of boredom, anxiety, or emotional triggers, leading to overeating and unhealthy food choices. In Buddhist mindfulness practice, however, the act of eating is seen as an opportunity to engage with the present moment and make conscious choices. By eating mindfully, we become more attuned to our body's signals, allowing us to recognize when we are hungry and when we are full. This awareness helps us avoid overeating and encourages healthier food choices. Moreover, mindful eating can help us develop a healthier relationship with food, free from guilt, shame, or emotional attachment. It empowers us to make choices that nurture both our body and soul. Interestingly, the science behind mindful eating supports the principles found in Buddhist teachings. Research has shown that mindfulness practices, including mindful eating, can reduce stress, improve digestion, and help with weight management. By fostering a calm and focused state during meals, we can enhance our body's ability to absorb nutrients, improve our metabolic function, and even make more balanced food choices. These findings align with the Buddhist concept that mindfulness leads to a deeper understanding of the body, fostering harmony between mind, body, and spirit. In a sense, mindful eating is not just a Buddhist practice, it has become a science-backed life hack, a simple yet profound way to improve our health and well-being. By slowing down, focusing on our food, and cultivating awareness, we are able to fully experience and appreciate the nourishment provided by each meal. It becomes more than just a physical act, it becomes an act of reverence for the body, for the food, and for life itself. Through the practice of mindful eating, we can transform our relationship with food and our bodies. Instead of approaching meals with haste or distraction, we can savor each bite, listen to our bodies, and make choices that nourish us. As we bring mindfulness to every aspect of our lives, we deepen our connection to the present moment and cultivate a sense of peace, balance, and gratitude. And so, the teachings of Buddhism continue to guide us, offering timeless wisdom that resonates with both the science of today and the spiritual practices of centuries past. In Buddhism, mindfulness is far more than just an exercise in slowing down or focusing on the present moment. It is a profound practice that extends into every aspect of life, including our relationship with food. Mindfulness is not only about chewing slowly, it is also about the intention behind every action. In Buddhist philosophy, every action carries karma, the universal law of cause and effect. This law states that our actions, thoughts, and words generate energy that ripples outward and returns to us, for better or for worse. It is through mindfulness that we become fully aware of the energy we are creating, whether positive or negative, with each action we take, including the simple act of eating. Have you ever stopped to think about the journey your food takes before it arrives on your plate? Every meal begins long before it reaches our tables through the farmers who cultivate the ingredients, the labor of hands that prepare the food, and the life force of the earth that sustains it. Food is not just a physical sustenance, it is a manifestation of the interconnectedness of all beings and a reminder of the delicate balance of life. When we eat mindlessly, without awareness or gratitude, we disconnect from this cycle and fail to honor the interconnectedness of all life. Eating in a hurried or careless manner, with greed or wastefulness, can create negative karma. This is because we are not mindful of the energy we are consuming or the energy we are contributing to the world. In contrast, when we eat with intention, when we approach our meals with gratitude, awareness, and respect for the food, we create positive karma. The act of mindful eating becomes an offering of reverence for the life force that nourishes us. It is a practice that cultivates positive energy within us and radiates that energy into the world. Eating with intention means acknowledging the source of the food, the effort that went into producing it, and the sacredness of life itself. In this way, every meal becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth, a moment to align ourselves with the values of compassion, gratitude, and interconnectedness that are central to Buddhism. Many Buddhist monks choose to follow a vegetarian diet, not just for health reasons, but as an act of compassion and respect for all living beings. In Buddhist teachings, All forms of life are sacred, and the decision to avoid eating meat is often seen as a way to minimize harm and suffering. However, it is important to note that practicing mindfulness in eating does not require one to adopt a vegetarian lifestyle. What is essential is not the specific food we eat, but the consciousness with which we approach it. Whether we eat vegetables, grains, or meat, the key is to be fully present in the act of eating, to approach it with awareness, and to appreciate the nourishment it provides. Mindful eating encourages us to eat consciously, not out of boredom, habit, or emotional triggers, but as a means of nurturing our bodies and minds with gratitude. When we eat out of habit, when we mindlessly snack or consume food simply to fill a void, we lose the deeper connection to the food and to ourselves. We begin to treat food as a mere commodity, something to be consumed without thought or appreciation. In Buddhism, food is seen as a sacred offering, and to consume it without awareness is to disrespect the gift that it is. Instead of eating quickly or distractedly, mindful eating invites us to slow down and truly savor each bite. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of appreciation for the nourishment provided, which helps us reconnect with the present moment and the sacredness of the meal. The practice of mindful eating encourages us to be aware of what we are putting into our bodies, not only in terms of food but also in terms of the energy and emotions we bring to the table. Every time we eat, we are not just feeding our bodies, but also nourishing our minds and spirits. When we approach food with awareness, we are better able to discern what is truly beneficial for us. We become more in tune with our bodies, noticing when we are truly hungry and when we are simply eating out of habit or emotional need. This awareness allows us to make healthier choices, to eat with balance, and to avoid the harmful effects of overeating, mindless snacking, or unhealthy food choices. In Buddhist teachings, the concept of karma is a guiding force in how we live our lives. Every action we take creates ripples in the world, and every intention we set generates energy that returns to us. This is why it is so important to eat with intention. Eating mindfully is not just about the act of consuming food, but about the energy we are cultivating through our actions. When we eat with respect, appreciation, and awareness, we create positive karma, not only for ourselves but also for the world around us. Each meal becomes a chance to cultivate peace, compassion, and mindfulness. Mindful eating is a way to harmonize our actions with the values of Buddhism, values that include mindfulness, gratitude, respect, and compassion. It is a way to transform a mundane activity into a spiritual practice. Every time we sit down to eat, we have the opportunity to infuse that moment with intention, turning our meal into an offering to ourselves and to the world. When we practice mindful eating, we engage in a form of self-care that goes beyond mere nourishment. It becomes a way to align ourselves with the deeper truths of existence, the interconnectedness of all beings, the sacredness of life, and the importance of living with intention. In Buddhism, every action, no matter how small, is an opportunity to practice mindfulness and cultivate positive karma. Eating, a daily act we often take for granted, becomes a powerful means of spiritual growth when approached with awareness and intention. So, the next time you sit down to eat, take a moment to reflect on the journey your food has taken to reach you. Honor the farmers, the hands that prepared the meal, and the life force that nourishes your body. Eat with gratitude, eat with intention, and eat with mindfulness, transforming every meal into an opportunity to create positive energy in your life. Mindful eating, a practice rooted in the Buddhist tradition, is far more than a method of nourishment. It is a pathway to cultivate awareness, presence, and gratitude in every moment of our lives. As we sit down to eat, we are not simply feeding our bodies, but also our minds, nourishing them with every bite. This is the essence of mindful eating, the ability to fully embrace the moment, to acknowledge the food before us with deep appreciation, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all things that have brought this meal into being. Before you take that first bite, take a deep breath. In the Buddhist teachings, breath is considered a powerful tool for mindfulness. It is a bridge between the mind and the body, a way to center oneself in the present. When we breathe deeply, we become aware of our own existence and the preciousness of the moment. Allow yourself to fully experience this moment before eating. Look at the food on your plate, with gratitude and reverence for its journey. Understand that each grain of rice, each vegetable, each piece of fruit has traveled across the land, nurtured by the earth, the sun, and the water, to provide sustenance to you. This moment of pause is not just an appreciation of the food, but an acknowledgement of the interdependence of all beings. As you take your first bite, chew slowly. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to eat on the go, mindlessly consuming food as we rush from one task to another. But mindful eating invites us to slow down, to chew each bite thoroughly, to savor the textures and flavors of our food. In Buddhist philosophy, the act of consuming food is seen as an opportunity for meditation. By chewing slowly, you create space for awareness. You become present with each bite, letting go of the noise of the world and allowing yourself to experience the full depth of the nourishment. Put down your fork between bites. This simple action is a gesture of mindfulness, a reminder to be present with each moment. In Buddhist meditation, the concept of one-pointed attention is key. It means focusing entirely on one thing, with no distractions. When you put down your fork, you are practicing this principle. There is no need to rush, no need to hurry. You can engage fully with your food, as it is, without thinking about what is coming next or what has passed. Avoid distractions. The Buddha taught the importance of right mindfulness, being aware of what is happening in the present moment. In the modern world, distractions are everywhere. The phone buzzes, the TV blares, our thoughts race from one thing to another. But mindful eating requires that we put all distractions aside, even if just for a few minutes. When we are truly present with our meal, free from distractions, we begin to experience life in its fullness. The food becomes a sacred offering, and the act of eating becomes an act of reverence. This practice is not about restriction. In fact, it is the opposite. It is about freedom, freedom from the constant pull of cravings, the compulsion to overeat, or the rush to finish. By eating mindfully, we learn to listen to our bodies, to recognize when we are full, and to stop before we feel overstuffed. We begin to realize that we need less to feel satisfied, that the quality of the experience matters far more than the quantity of food. As you continue to eat mindfully, you will notice changes in your body and mind. Food will taste richer, as if you are experiencing it for the first time. This is because your senses are awakened to the fullness of the present moment. Digestion will improve, as the act of mindful eating activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and better digestion. Your body becomes more attuned to its needs, and you become more connected to the food you consume. But perhaps the greatest benefit of mindful eating is the peace it brings to the mind. The Buddha taught that the mind is often restless and easily distracted, pulled in many different directions. But through practices like mindfulness, we can cultivate a calm and focused mind. Mindful eating is one such practice. As you sit down with your meal, free from the distractions of the world, you begin to quiet the noise in your mind. Your focus deepens. Your thoughts slow. You are no longer caught in the past or the future, you are simply here, fully present in the moment. This peace extends beyond the meal. When you eat mindfully, you develop a sense of gratitude for the food and the people who prepared it. You are reminded of the interconnectedness of all beings, from the farmers who grew the crops to the hands that cooked the meal. In this way, mindful eating becomes an act of loving kindness, not only toward yourself, but also toward the world around you. In the Buddhist tradition, food is not seen merely as sustenance but as an offering. By practicing mindful eating, we transform the act of eating into a sacred ritual. We infuse our meals with intention, mindfulness, and gratitude. We honor the food before us, the earth that provided it, and the countless beings who made its journey possible. So, the next time you sit down to eat, remember, it is not just food you are consuming, but the entire universe that has come together to nourish you. Eat with awareness, eat with gratitude, and eat with peace. Let every bite be a reminder of the impermanence of life and the beauty of the present moment. Mindfulness is often viewed as a simple practice of being present, such as chewing slowly or being aware of the sensations as you eat. But at its deeper level, mindfulness is also about intention. In the Buddhist tradition, intention is a powerful force that shapes our actions and the resulting karma. Every action we take, no matter how small, has a ripple effect in the world. This includes something as fundamental as eating. How we eat, with what intention, and the attitude we carry toward our food, all contribute to the energy we cultivate and send out into the world. In Buddhist philosophy, everything we do creates karma. The concept of karma is not just about the big decisions in life, it also encompasses the smaller, everyday choices that we make. How we approach our meals, for example, can either create positive or negative karma depending on our thoughts, actions, and intentions. Have you ever stopped to consider the journey your food has taken to get to your plate? This journey is a rich tapestry of interconnected beings. The soil that nourished the crops, the farmers who toiled to grow them, the hands that prepared them, each step along the way is an act of life, an offering, and a sacred exchange. By becoming aware of this, we can approach our meals with a sense of gratitude and reverence. Eating mindlessly, driven by greed, habit, or wastefulness, can create negative karma. When we eat hurriedly, distractedly, or out of compulsion, we are not honoring the food or the effort that went into bringing it to us. We may find ourselves eating because we are bored, stressed, or simply out of habit, and this disconnect from the true purpose of eating often leads to negative consequences for our minds and bodies. The act of eating becomes a means to fill a void or distract ourselves from discomfort, rather than an opportunity to nourish our bodies and souls in a mindful and meaningful way. But when we eat with intention, when we are aware of each bite, each sensation, each flavor, we invite positive energy into our lives. Eating with gratitude for the food and for the lives that contributed to it creates positive karma. Instead of rushing through a meal or consuming it mindlessly, we take the time to slow down and fully experience it. By eating in this way, we create a space for mindfulness to permeate our lives. We no longer consume out of habit or boredom, but out of awareness, respect, and a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness of all life. Many Buddhist monks follow a vegetarian diet as part of their spiritual practice. Their diet is not only about health but is also a reflection of their deep respect for all living beings. The act of choosing vegetarianism is seen as a way to reduce harm and cultivate compassion for animals. But practicing mindful eating does not necessarily mean you need to adopt a vegetarian lifestyle. It is not about the specific foods you consume, rather, it is about the awareness and intention you bring to each meal. The key is to approach your food with mindfulness, to be conscious of what you are putting into your body, and to appreciate the nourishment it provides. In the Buddhist teachings, the practice of right mindfulness extends to every aspect of our lives. Eating is no exception. When we eat with awareness, we can transform a simple meal into a powerful opportunity for spiritual practice. Each bite becomes an opportunity to cultivate positive energy, to generate kindness, and to bring peace into our minds. The simple act of eating becomes a moment of mindfulness, a moment of deep connection with the food, with the earth, and with all the beings that have contributed to this meal. Mindful eating is also an opportunity to practice self-awareness. In a world filled with distractions and hurriedness, eating is often something we do without much thought. But when we slow down and truly pay attention, we begin to notice our habits, our patterns, and our relationship with food. Are we eating because we are truly hungry, or are we eating to soothe our emotions or fill a void? Are we eating because it is time to nourish our bodies, or are we eating out of boredom or stress? By bringing mindfulness to the act of eating, we can gain a deeper understanding of our own desires and motivations, and in doing so, we can begin to cultivate healthier habits and a more balanced relationship with food. Every meal becomes an opportunity for spiritual practice, a chance to cultivate gratitude, awareness, and respect for all living beings. It is a chance to make choices that align with our values and our intention to live with compassion and mindfulness. Eating mindfully is not just about slowing down, it is about bringing intention to the act of nourishment. It is about recognizing the sacredness of food, and the energy it provides, and using that nourishment to cultivate positive karma in our lives. When we eat with mindfulness, every meal becomes a moment of spiritual practice, a moment of connection with the world around us, and a moment of peace within ourselves. Buddhism teaches us that true transformation doesn't arise from grand, dramatic changes, but from the small, consistent actions we take each day. It is through cultivating mindfulness in the simplest of tasks, like eating, that we begin to experience profound shifts in our lives. Change is not about waiting for a single moment of revelation, it is about the gradual unfolding of awareness, patience, and intentionality over time. Each mindful step we take contributes to the path of enlightenment, and every conscious action, no matter how small, brings us closer to understanding the true nature of existence. One such practice that has the power to transform not just your body but your mind and spirit as well is mindful eating. Eating is something we do every day, yet it is one of the most overlooked opportunities to cultivate mindfulness and presence. When we eat mindfully, we practice awareness of the present moment, honoring the food that nourishes us and the journey that brought it to our plate. We slow down, we pay attention to the act of eating, and we become fully present with each bite. This practice is a reflection of the Buddhist teachings of right mindfulness, a state of being fully aware of what is happening in the present moment, without distraction or judgment. Mindful eating teaches us many virtues that are central to the Buddhist path. First and foremost, it teaches patience. In a world filled with distractions and a constant rush to get to the next thing, eating mindfully requires us to slow down. We are forced to abandon the hurry and restlessness that often defines our daily lives. Instead of rushing through a meal, we learn to savor each bite, to chew slowly, and to be fully present with the food before us. This simple act of slowing down cultivates patience, which is essential in both the practice of mindfulness and the pursuit of inner peace. Patience is not just about waiting, it is about accepting the present moment without resistance, fully engaging with it, and allowing it to unfold in its own time. Mindful eating also cultivates gratitude. The Buddha taught that gratitude is an important aspect of spiritual practice. It is through gratitude that we recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and appreciate the life force that sustains us. Every meal is a reflection of the earth's abundance, the work of countless hands, and the elements that have come together to nourish us. When we eat mindfully, we acknowledge and honor this interconnectedness. We express our gratitude not just by saying thank you, but by fully experiencing and appreciating the food that nourishes us. Each bite becomes a moment of thanksgiving, an opportunity to recognize the preciousness of life itself. This practice of mindful eating also teaches us to be more present in our daily lives. The act of eating, when done mindfully, becomes an anchor for awareness. The simple act of sitting down to eat, without distractions, is a moment to reconnect with ourselves and with the world around us. In Buddhist meditation, we learn to focus on the breath as a means of returning to the present moment. In mindful eating, we focus on the sensations of eating, the smell of the food, the taste, the texture, and the warmth. By doing so, we anchor ourselves in the present moment and begin to break free from the constant chatter of the mind, the distractions, and the worries that often pull us away from the here and now. So, the next time you sit down for a meal, pause and ask yourself, am I truly present in this moment? Are my thoughts racing ahead, or am I fully engaged with the experience of eating? In that moment, you have the power to transform your relationship with food. You have the power to slow down, to appreciate, and to truly experience what it means to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. By practicing mindful eating, you are not just transforming your eating habits, you are transforming your entire relationship with life. You are cultivating a practice of awareness, gratitude, and patience that can extend beyond the meal and into every aspect of your life. Buddhism teaches us that the path to awakening is not found in big, dramatic moments, but in the small, consistent practices that we cultivate each day. Mindful eating is one such practice. It may seem simple, but in its simplicity, it holds the potential for profound transformation. By eating mindfully, you are aligning yourself with the principles of right mindfulness, cultivating patience, and deepening your sense of gratitude. And in doing so, you open the door to a more peaceful, grounded, and fulfilling life. So, today, as you sit down to eat, let the wisdom of mindful eating guide you. Take a moment to breathe, to appreciate, and to slow down. Allow yourself to fully experience the nourishment that food provides, and let that experience be a reflection of the awareness and mindfulness you are cultivating in every aspect of your life. In this small but significant practice, you hold the power to change your relationship with food and, perhaps, to transform your life.